Hello and welcome to our channel Monali. We are here to do our weekly planetary message, and we are going to be channeling through Monali. We're first going to have an introduction of who is being channeled through her, and then we're going to ask a few questions for the collective conscious and just some specific questions this week. If you have any questions you would like asked, please comment them down below and we'll try to fit them into our upcoming videos. If you would like to check out Monali's social media, the links for that are all in the description below. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. We just reposted Monali's website, so we're very excited to share that with you guys, and all of that again will be in the description down below. So here we go. You good? All right. So welcome. We were wondering if you could give us a bit of an introduction as to who is channeling through Monali and tell us a little bit about where that energy is being directed from.
Which stream is speaking?
Yeah, just give us a little information, a little bit of background about who she's channeling.
Odd question for us, since individuality is not where we're speaking from, but we have, you said our tone that you would speak down is, we call ourselves, if you were to call us Leath, it's Leith is how you'd spell it if you want to know. And this is our way of giving ourselves a name for your planet, because when you speak it out, it pulls us down, whether it's us speaking through, as you call, like a channeling, or if you're just thinking and we are present as you think of us. So best way for our essence to be shared is to just call us in by calling us in you would with any other, you say, aspect of yourself. Is this clear?
Yes, thank you. All right.
It's odd that you find comfort in names when so often with the name comes like judgment or a story, or often you say negative connotations, kind of.
It creates a box around.
Box.
Yes. We were wondering if there were specific things, like maybe frequencies or subject matters that we should be focused on this week, specifically to maybe bring peace or awareness or things like that. Is there certain subject matters that we should be more focused on this week?
Trust your own worth and do not compromise. And by this we mean whenever there is a slight hesitation or pull in a specific direction, it might be a subtle feeling inside that you cannot you say explain. Just be aware. It does not mean you have to be in that direction, or you say go, but be aware of the feelings of when you do compromise. As we just shared, compromise is often the beginning of a victimizing state, and we don't necessarily mean you will have someone become a or we mean victim state, not victimizer state. You can become a victim within your own self from yourself. Is this clear?
Yes.
And so we want to be very much nurturing the subtleties of your own GPS guiding you, that this is real and that it is talking and speaking and guiding you. It's not separate from you. It is you speaking to yourself. Often when people talk about guides or channeling, it's always as if it's not a part of them, and this is not how we perceive it. It's always us talking to us in different realities.
How can we recognize when it's our self-talk in our own minds
when
versus...
it feels like your heart opens, or when nothing else feels like right, or like you can't come up with anything to argue it.
Okay, so there has to be a trust of that, though.
Your question was going to be as opposed to the other voices in your head, yes?
Yeah, how do we know when something's coming through us?
Every time your GPS is guiding you, it's from your heart and not your head.
Okay, so it'll be a more open feeling. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay. So we just have to be aware of how it feels in our body, what that whatever we're quote unquote
telling. It feels in your heart, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So if it feels good, if it doesn't feel good, that type of thing.
Your heart, as you say, never lies, and it could be subtle or it could be big, but it was always guiding.
Okay. How do we determine if there's a truth in us, but there's I guess it'd be the same thing. Let me see. How do we tell if our heart is telling us something, but we have an attachment to it, which is making us feel bad? How do we differentiate between the real message and it feeling bad because we have the attachment?
If there is a question, then it's often not real.
Okay, so it's more of a direct...
knowing.
Okay. All right, beautiful.
Questions, you always have answer within the question, and often asking yourself questions like into your heart, you'll get yes, no by it's either contracting, which will become, it would feel like it's broadening, or when it constricts, it would be no. So when it's bigger, it's a yes. When it's small, no.
All right, so becoming aware of our body and the feeling within us is going to be our best tool for understanding
not
those.
body, heart.
The last specific question we have is, can we talk a little bit about what you would suggest for a planetary diet, intake of food that we might want to focus on?
So diet is interesting. You have the word die in your word of diet. We just want to point this out. But food intake, so each individual person's intake is going to be personal, since it is your own guidance telling you what to eat. So each being will have its own natural rhythm to it, and when we see many beings saying do this full diet for many different beings, it takes out the individuality of that each being is not the same, in the sense of each being has its own experience, and to try and make yourself fit into a certain box, odd. We understand that we are all connected and are all same, but when you are like dishonoring that you have a certain path and a certain experience so far in what you call life here on your planet, not helpful. That being said, you say options and some advice on how to differentiate different things to be eating that would be helpful for your system. So often when beings are in the idea of a diet, they restrict things. And so we often feel like restricting things, you do get clearer in some ways, in the sense of you'll notice what really resonates with you, in the sense of if you have certain cravings come up that are kind of random, in the sense of not out of a habit, because let's say we'll use them like potato chips. Let's say before you went on like diet, you ate them frequently. It was a main part of your diet. So when, let's say, you take them out for like a week, you'll start to notice when you want them more than other times, because you won't have the craving in the same way when you pull it out. So let's say if you're feeling any emotions that are like rocky, that are, you would maybe say more intense, or like more in the like sad or distressed direction, you're gonna want something more like potato chips, because that is your go-to, your body knows, as a way to fill up the void within yourself, because often on planet you want to basically press down the emotions by eating certain foods. And so you basically have trained yourself that when you feel a certain emotion, that by feeling like by filling the void of that emotion, With food, it is healthy. So that being said, when you pull something out, to pay attention when you really do want it. So let's say you are sad in that moment. Sometimes actually eating the potato chips will be less stressful to your system because it causes less of a trauma than withholding. Is this clear?
Yes. How would we determine whether or not we should withhold or go after that craving?
So first, when you have a craving for potato chips, be aware where your emotional state is, and you will often find that it's because you're feeling a specific emotion. And if you can walk yourself into why you're feeling that way and fully acknowledging it by just being within yourself and telling yourself it is okay to feel this way, sometimes if that is enough to, you say, release it and to continue on your way. If it does not, then to pay attention to where you're at within that state, and then know that if you're continually thinking about potato chips in the sense of you don't feel like you need it but you want it, there's a difference.
Right. It's no longer filling something, you just want the experience.
Then is the time where you say, eat some potato chips.
Okay. So would there be a particular food intake that would help someone stay in, or diet as we would say, but if types of foods that we would take on to have a higher vibration?
Out one thing completely, alcohol, sugar.
Okay. All right. Is there anything we should focus on to eat to keep us in a higher vibration?
It will, once you pull out certain pieces, you'll see where your body naturally would like to go.
Okay. So it is different for everyone in that sense. All right.
But sugar is about filling voids with your own, about filling your voids with emotions, like your emotional, how would you word it? When you want sugar, it's on an energetic level. When we see there's a void feeling within your body that you want to fill, and sugar has become the thing your go-to.
Okay, actually that makes a lot of sense.
So alcohol, different. It numbs. It's different than void.
Right. So void.
It's like sugar, when you're in that void, it's desperate. So when you want an alcohol, it's about numbing a pain where you don't even go in to feel the void.
Right. So it's almost a rejection of the feeling altogether.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Is there anything else on that subject that you'd like to add, or does that feel complete?
We feel complete, but we would like to share, not now, but soon, about concepts of addictions.
Okay, beautiful. Maybe we can come back to that next week. Is there anything else that you would like to sum up for the end of the message or anything like that? Anything that comes to mind after?
Just be honest within yourself of how you feel in each moment, and know that each feeling of emotion is perfect and it is serving you, and it's not going to be forever, but in the moment it is best serving you until you decide it's not.
Beautiful. All right, is this message complete? Beautiful. Thank you so much, and we will meet up with you soon.
This is a random side note.
Yeah. Oh.
So the other day I was like, at the group thing the other day, I actually channeled my Aisha for the most part.
Oh.
So interesting.
Do you want to do that?
I don't know.
I kind of like the quirky way you channel, to be totally honest.
Well, with my eyes open?
Yeah, you just are really animated. It's fun to watch.
Okay. Like, you don't think it's weird and creepy.
Well, just do whatever feels good to you. Like, if you want to close your eyes,
cool.
Yeah, cool. Hello, everyone, and welcome to... Yeah, see, there we go. Just hold on.
I'm glad it's not just me being like, take 25.
Oh, I always open my videos like 3 times, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good now. Please give this a like, and hit the... Crap. Hold on.
We should do like bloopers after.